All right, treble hooks are trouble hooks for a lot of people, but they don't have to be. I've done a couple videos here recently about how I store all of my lures, about how I store all of my worm hooks. Now we are on to treble hooks. And this is what you get the package, maybe you get the value pack of the hooks. I can tell you, having sharp treble hooks is a huge deal for me. If you're not fishing with sharp treble hooks, you are asking to lose fish and be frustrated and not understand why. It's very important. It's a whole system. You got to have the right rod and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to just talk about how to store your treble hooks today. I've got this is my main treble hook box. I've got this box right here, and then I've got this box right here that I've had for the last number of years. It says Gamakatsu on it because that's what's in it, Gamakatsu treble hooks. But these are my G-Finesse treble hooks, and then these are all of my regular Gamakatsu treble hooks. But this off season, I'm going to be transitioning from traditional boxes to waterproof boxes. I had this box last year in my boat with all of my treble hooks in it, and it is locked tight. It's got these 4 latches on it. I really like it. I highly recommend a waterproof box for putting all of your treble hooks in. And you can see this is my system right here. Let me just kind of walk you through it, get a little bit closer here. I put these extra pieces of foam. These come in the G-Finesse packages. That's what's in the back of there, the white. But the foam right there is why I put a couple extra pieces so that those treble hooks don't rattle around in there. Maybe I'm just crazy, maybe not. I might be crazy. But then I'd also, in each one of these little containers, I put some of these little silica packets in there to absorb the moisture so I don't get any rust issues in there. But I start and I organize them by size. And I think the smallest ones are right over here, the number 8, little teeny tiny number 8 treble hooks. That's it right there. It's tiny. Look, it's cute. It goes on some spy baits, little teeny crankbaits, things like that. Then I have a couple different number 6s. I have 6s in EWG and 6s in round bend. And I really think that's if you have topwater baits, I really like round bends, jerk baits, and topwater baits. Now, Hank Cherry is a extra wide gap guy, and he's a pretty good jerk bait fisherman, so I can't go against his his theory on using EWGs for jerk baits, but I'll just leave that there. Everything else, like small crankbaits, when the water gets real warm, I switch to EWGs. If the water's cooler, I go to round bends. Round bends have a much better penetration. I did a video on that. If you want to go back and look at some of my older videos, did a video on that. You can find that on the YouTube page. But then as we go through, we've got the number 5s, very important number 5. That's what comes on Little John's. It fits on a lot of different small crankbaits like that. And then the other key size is number 3s. And I have some red ones because I might use those on topwaters. I'm not a huge red hook guy, but if I can never get this out of here, I don't want to make a mess. But there's the red hook in the 3s. I have the 3s in the bronze and the red. And the red hooks I might use on topwater and a jerkbait up near the front, kind of simulating, the blood coming out of, the gill area. I think that could be something that the bass could trigger and, get them triggered. And I don't think they're going to go up and actually bite the little red hook. They're going to go up and eat the whole bait because it looks like it's a bleeding bait fish. That's about the only extent of any type of red hook that I think might be worthy of going after. But then as you can see, I just go up through size, 5s and then 4s, and then 4 EWGs, and then they just get bigger and then bigger. And then I even have some extra frog hooks. That's right. If you can catch 8 or 10 fish on a frog, and then the hook points start to get dull. And then you replace it with the frog hook. or if you catch a big bowfin or something you're not trying to catch, a lot of times those things are really, really hard and they can bend the tips over on your hook points. If you're paying attention, you feel those hook points, they feel a little dull, you can do that. Maybe I'll do another whole video on how to change those frog hooks, but it's not too hard once you do it correctly. And then I even have some bigger ones. So look, oh, I left out these ones. I have number 10 treble hooks, the little tiny ones, little 10s. Then these are a bunch of my feathered trebles. I've got 6, 4s, and 2s and feathered. I've got more feathered trebles as well. A lot of them are hand tied because I want to use a specific, like here's a hand tied one. I did a number 3. This is a number 3. Can't even get it out. But that's a number 3 treble hook, hand tied, just a little feather on it, a little tinsel, a little feather on a number 3, because the number 3 fits certain baits like a zero spook or you know, a vixen, something like that. Fits those real well. And then of course I have some of these Mondos in here for swim baits, giant crankbaits, things like that. So these are all of my normal round and extra wide gap treble hooks, and I keep these bad boys tight in a waterproof container. I think that's key, tight in a waterproof container, and I put on their trebles. I thought it was appropriate. Again, trebles. When I have it stored in there, I look in there and I see treble, treble, treble. So those are my treble hooks, and like I said, I use Gamakatsu for about everything I have since day one. And you know, you can buy the regular packs and you can get the value packs. If it's a hook that you know that you're going to use quite a bit during the year, 4s and 2s especially, just buy the value pack, man, be done with it. One other thing, I am a big fan of bronze treble hooks. Bronze, okay, let's back up. When they make a treble hook, they make a treble hook. I'm not going to go through the whole process because I vaguely understand it. I'm not an expert by any means. But when they make the hook, they extrude the metal, weld the middle part together, and then they weld the third arm on so that they're all even, and they have the barb on them, and then the Gamakatsu hooks are chemically sharpened to get that point as sticky sharp it is. It's some sort of chemical sharpening process. I don't understand it, but all I know is it's sharp as hell, and that is really cool. But that hook will rust like crazy if you go right from the giddy. So either they have to put a nickel coating or they have to put the red coating, but the red coating is just a nickel coating with red on top of it. So red hooks actually have 2 coatings on them, so they're not going to be as sharp by definition. Then there's black nickel. Black nickel, I feel like, is one of the thinner coatings that they can put on those hooks. But then the bronze, I have had this confirmed, the bronze is the thinnest coating that they put on the treble hook. It probably rusts the easiest, which is another reason I'm a freak about putting the little packets in there and making sure it's in a waterproof case, just so that they do not rust. The bronze are the sharpest, they're the stickiest. The black nickel ones are probably next. You can debate on the 2. I like black nickel. I have no problems with those hooks. Use those quite a bit in tournaments, but when money's on the line, I want the bronze ones. And you can hunt around on the internet and find these bronze hooks nowadays. But sharp treble hook is the biggest key. Your treble hooks over time get dull. That's when you need to replace them. But then we come over here to, this is nothing but the G-Finesse. That's right, it's my boy Aaron Martin's on there. Rest in peace, brother. There's the G-Finesse. Now they have the regular and they have the medium wire, the MH, medium heavy wire. So the medium heavy wires, let me try to grab a couple that could show you the difference. There's a couple different ones. So you can see there's a little different size, but they're definitely this one's a little beefier in the, here's a, Here's another. Oh no, that's medium heavy. Yeah, that's a medium heavy. This is a smaller one, but it's definitely still medium heavy. So you can see it's got some meat to it. That's when I use you know, a lot of cranking. I'm gonna go to these hooks. The G-Finesse hooks have less weight. It's a different material. That's the biggest difference. It's the biggest material. This tournament grade wire. This is a little more brittle hook. Doesn't flex as much as this hook, but this hook weighs less than this hook. And the barbs on these G-Finesses are a little bit smaller, but they have the nano coating on here, makes them really slick. Really good hookup ratio on the G-Finesse. The regular hooks, of course, as long as they're sticky sharp, you're gonna have a good hookup ratio. But even if these points aren't sticky sharp, that nano coating is gonna help slide that hook point in the fish's face, penetrate, get a good hook set, and that's why the G-Finesses can be so good. A lot of times on jerk baits, I will go to the G-Finesse treble hooks, because the regular treble hooks, if you want to have a bigger hook, like especially if you're fishing, you know, a mega bass 110 or even a mixed stick, and you want to make sure you have a hook that's got enough, you know, girth to it, or you don't want your bait to sink, but you want to keep a normal sized treble hook on there, you can kind of swap out to these bad boys. They're not as heavy, and they're not going to cause your bait to sink. If you want to try to keep your jerk bait up a little bit higher, or if you're fishing some kind of square bill and you want that thing to have a nice, good, wild action, you know, maybe you go for the G-Finesse medium heavies, and they're still going to be a lighter overall hook than this right here. So with jerk baits, square bills, I feel like it can make a difference. A lot of traditional crankbaits, like you're talking about, you know, Little Johns or, you know, 6XDs or something like that, it's not going to make a difference which hook you use on there, really. But I know a lot of deep crankers that are absolutely sold on these G-Finesse, especially that medium heavy wire hook. So that's kind of my system. And as you can see, if you look back in the G-Finesse box, I do have some hand-tied trebles over here and over here. I do like those G-Finesses on some topwaters. Again, topwaters, you might want a lighter hook, but still have a bigger hook. Keep that bait up on the top, keep it from kind of like making it subsurface. So I've got some hand-tied trebles right there. I'm not any kind of hand-tie guru. I've got Mark that works here at Missile. He ties a lot of these up. Buddy Billy Herndon, he ties a few of these up for me. So I can't really do a video on how to do that because I don't do them. But it's nice you have friends that'll do that stuff for you. But it kind of have a little sampling of the different sizes. And again, I'm going to be transitioning this over to one of my waterproof boxes here this year. So if you have any other questions on my treble hook system, where I'm going to put what treble hooks on what baits, let me know. Drop them down there in the comments. And by all means, stay sharp. That's the key. When you watch this video, just remember, stay sharp. Check your treble hooks often as you're fishing. If you're fishing a hard bait, and make sure that they're sharp. As long as they're sharp, you're going to be good to go. And that's kind of how I store my treble hooks. And I hope you enjoy. Thanks.